Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to my next listing. Hope you're having happy holidays out there. Here's a cool one for you. It's going to be affordable, but it's in really nice shape. This is the Pioneer PL-505, fully automatic, direct drive turntable. It's been recapped and restored, has a brand new Audio-Technica cartridge on it. Me and the Snoop Dogg are going to go ahead and go over the features and functions of this really cool machine and talk about a cool artist today. Let's check it out. So first off, I hope you guys are doing great. We're getting ready for the Christmas holiday. It's supposed to get stupid cold here really quick, like down to 8 degrees by the end of the week for a low. They don't do that here in Texas. I'm from Ohio. But, after being gone from so many years, it still freezes my ass off. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing all well. There's supposed to be big snows coming in the Midwest too. So maybe, shipping this thing before Christmas probably isn't going to happen just because of the risk, But if you need this as a gift for somebody, I mentioned in an earlier video, I can do a customized, video for somebody, to give this as a wish. So here's your turntable kind of thing, I've done those before in the past, and I'm not as drunk on those as I normally am. So unless you want to pay extra, and I can get really drunk. Okay, good, we'll do that. So this is a Pioneer PL-505, direct drive, fully automatic turntable, okay? I've recapped and restored it as I do. I changed all the electrolytic caps out to Elnas and Nichicons and Panasonics. I lubed the motor. I lubed the arm bearings. I adjusted the spring for the anti-skating. I replaced all the front panel switches. I replaced the motor belt. This is a direct drive turntable for the platter, but the motor runs on a little separate motor that has a little belt that drives it. It's a special belt. I got it. It's replaced. It's ready to go. This thing is in minty nice shape. Holy crap, man. There's one little mark right here. It's been patched in this little chip in the corner here. We got a finger right there. Okay. And like I've been doing lately here on these your more affordable turntables, that's a brand new Audio-Technica AT VM95E. This is the elliptical version of the VM series. The cool thing about those is you can upgrade them if you like. You can go all the way up to a Shibata stylus on these things, and just literally slides in, slides out. Don't have to make any more adjustments, and it's ready to go. But for a lower price cartridge, these are like $75, like shipped from Amazon, whatever. You can't touch them. You've got to go up to probably a 110 Nagaoka to really like seriously contend with that, and that's a lot more money. So these have been my best bang for the buck. These, and there's an Ortofon Super OM10 if you can find those out there. Those are really cool too. Those run about same money, maybe $10 or $15 more. But anyway, it's ready to rock. You might also notice there's no dust cover on here. It comes with a dust cover, but the dust cover, I'll show it in the last segment, it's beat up. I've kind of made an executive decision that I'm just done with killing myself sanding these dust covers when I find out that most people either want to get a brand new cover after the fact, or they don't use the cover at all. This table looks freaking awesome without a cover on it. But I like to ship them with a cover for protection. So I've hooked up with my guy Efren, who does my dust covers for me. Excuse me, I'm going to cough here. And he's agreed that if you buy a table off me, I'll put you in contact with him. And you can buy your dust cover direct from him at my price, which is usually between $90 and $110, depending on what it was. This is probably going to be more of a $100 one. There's a couple are less, but like the bigger Deadens and the big Pioneers, the PL-50s and stuff, there's a little bit more. But he does great work. He sells stuff on eBay too, but he hooks up with me on the private side, and he'll give you my deal on those. So anyway, with that being said, this turntable with this brand new cartridge and the factory dust cover, it's not, it's a little beat up. So, but the hinges and all that stuff are good. I'll include those too. It's $450 plus the shipping, which is a stupid deal. Okay, that you can't touch anything brand new that doesn't come with a dust cover for anywhere near this money. So, like I said, if you need a second turntable or just getting into vinyl and want to get something that's better than all this plastic crap you see out there that's under $1,000, here you go, $450 in shipping. So with all that said, my artist of the day didn't give a fuck about money. Okay, didn't care about hit songs. Matter of fact, his biggest song, his one-hit wonder, was a happy accident because of a studio screw-up, and he still didn't care. Even if after he was advised by the dumbest person from Cleveland I've ever heard of in my entire life. We'll get to him in a minute, but in the meantime, let's talk about Jonathan Edwards. This looks a lot like the guy I used to buy my weed off of. It could have been, I don't know. Anyway, that is Jonathan Edwards. Not to be confused with John Edward, the fat Tom Selleck looking guy who sees dead people, or the John Edwards who was the congressman who got caught diddling somebody. I forget what the hell he was doing. It was pretty crazy a few years ago. Was going to be president until he fucked up, literally. Anyway, with that being said, this is Jonathan Edwards. This is a hippie guy who just likes singing and writing songs. He doesn't care if he makes any money. Doesn't care if there's anybody there. He's just a musician, okay? He was born in Minnesota in 46, okay? By the time he was 8, he moved to Virginia, where he was started learning to play piano and guitar at that point in time. Well, by 67, he was a student in Ohio, so maybe I did buy my weed from him. He was a student at Ohio University. And he was in a band. And that band's name was St. James Doorknob. Gotta love it, okay? They were playing. They were still getting together. They had auditioned some new people, and they found a couple guys, one of them being a guy named Joe Dolce, okay? Or Dolce, okay? I'm going to try my best. I've actually had to start this segment 3 times because I talked such shit about this guy, and he's still alive. He'll probably put a hit on me. But he is the worst thing that has come out of Cleveland since pollution. Okay. Oh my God. Anyway, he was in a band down there called Infinite Minds. So when Infinite Minds got together with St. James Doorknob, they of course had to become Infinite Doorknob. Come on, dudes. What the fuck? It's obvious. Well, Infinite Doorknob started getting a little bit popular, but they thought, or maybe there was another band named Infinite Doorknob, but for whatever reason, they changed their name again. What could possibly beat Infinite Doorknob, you say? Headstone Circus. Yeah, they were Headstone Circus. No drugs at OU, I take it. Actually, I think OU was voted one of the partyingest universities many years in a row for a while there. I think Arizona took them over. But anyway, they started getting really popular. So much so that they decided to go to Boston and try to get a record deal. Now, again, drugs are a terrible thing. I don't know why you go to Boston to get a record deal, even in the 60s. I'm missing something here. But they did, and son of a bitch, they got a record deal. And I think the first thing the record company told them is, you can't make a fucking folk album called and be called Headstone Circus. Let's change your name to something that sounds folky, like, I don't know, Sugar Creek. So they became Sugar Creek. After all that shit, they were Sugar Creek. And they made a record. They never released a single. You can actually go to YouTube and hear a couple of the songs with Jonathan singing. I mean, they're popular because of Jonathan's later fame that I'm going to talk about, okay? In doing my due diligence, there's actually a YouTube video, or YouTube video. There's actually an eBay listing for the press kit for the Sugar Creek record for $75 on sale on eBay right now. And it's a really nice press kit. Now, to explain what press kits are, back in the days before internet and before websites and even fax machines, whatever, in order to get your word out that you were making a record companies would send promoters and radio stations press kits, which were basically, the 8x10s of the band, biographies of them, their favorite astrological sign, maybe some reviews of the record if some stuff was out by then, get some famous people to talk about how they heard the record and liked it, blah, blah, blah. Basically just to get your record played. And those varied anywhere from just typewritten dumb shit that you could tell the record company didn't give a shit to maybe total cartoon type great artwork, whatever. This Sugar Creek one's kind of in the middle. It's done up really nice. There's some animation there on it. There's nice bios about Jonathan Edwards. So this record company, which I think was called Multimedia, they seemed to actually put an effort into it, but it didn't matter. The band had imploded and they never released a single. So they all went their separate ways. So Jonathan, he's in Boston. He's still trying to make it work. He's living in a co-op with a bunch of other songwriters. And, co-op, it was 5-6 bedrooms. There's one kitchen. These songwriters would all get together. They'd write their latest songs. And every so often they'd get in the kitchen. They'd all sit around. They'd play their songs for each other. And they would critique the songs to help each other out. Okay. Now, Joe Dolce, who was in Infinite Doorknob, also was living in this co-op. And Jonathan, when it came to Jonathan's turn in line to play the latest song he was working on, he just had a verse. He didn't have a chorus. So he wanted to do something. So he played it, and he just literally made up a chorus on the spot. And the lines of the chorus were, how much does it cost? I'll buy it. Time is all we've lost. I'll try it. And Joe Dolce goes, dude, that makes no sense. It's shit. You got to go back in the bedroom and work on it. And Jonathan did, because he thought his friend knew what the hell he was talking about. And he could never really come up with anything better, so he just shelved the song. Now, this is the part where I've started this video 3 times, because I've talked so bad about Joe Dolce, he was going to put a hit on me. Okay, let's just say Joe Dolce is the dumbest musician to ever come out of Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, prove me wrong. I'm about to ruin your guys' nights, okay, or days, whenever you're listening to this. Go make a stiff drink now. Go do, if drugs are legal where you are, take some, because I'm about to ruin your life. This is going to make Sister Christian and the Macarena, you'll pray for Sister Christian in your head after I tell you to go look up this song called Shut Up a Your Face. Yes, I said it with an Italian accent because that's what it is. This clown moved to Australia for some reason in the late 70s, and he wrote this parody song. It's about his family growing up, and it's about his mother telling him to shut up around the dinner table. He wears a goofy-ass hat. It's accordion. It's like, a bad Italian pizza music type deal with this guy talking shit over it. It sold 6 million copies. Okay, it was number one in a bunch of countries. It kept Ultravox out of the number one spot for Vienna in the UK, for God's sake. This clown is playing like Top of the Pops in the UK, lip syncing this stupid ass. It is the dumbest. I mean, calling this song stupid is an insult to stupid. I could eat Cheerios and shit a better lyric than this song right here, okay? It's a disgrace. I feel like a Dixie Chicks. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm also from Cleveland, okay? Terrible song, okay? Did I mention it's not good? Anyway, that's the guy, okay? Enough about him. Let's get back to Jonathan. So meantime, Jonathan gets a record deal, okay? Solo deal. And he's making songs in different studios because he's just a guy who's going out playing. In the meantime, he basically took whatever money he had left. He bought a little PA system that fit in his Volkswagen van, and he would drive to college campuses and basically just walk into a dorm off, hallway, plug in, and just start playing. Of course, he's trying to get laid, but really, he's just playing for free until the campus securities would kick him out. And he did that enough times repeatedly that he started getting a following for this little clubs he was playing at. And that led to him getting this record deal with Atco Records. Now, Atco is probably not the biggest ripoff music label, but I don't know who's any worse, because these guys screwed this boy over terrible. And we'll get to that here in a second too. So he's making his record at different studios and stuff around here. It's on a shoestring budget because they probably didn't give him much. And even up till, if you still use tape in a studio, unless you want to pay $300 a reel for tape, when you got done using something and you transferred it over to the master, you would erase the original tape to record over it again because tape was money. So the engineer, after working 20-hour day, went and found a tape he thought they'd already used. He erased over it and realized, hey, just erased over a song that they had cut earlier. And it was called Please Find Me. And he goes, Jonathan, shit, man, do you want to redo it? And Jonathan's like, no, I really wasn't into that song anyway. I got this one that's in the back of my head I've had around here for a while. Let me try it. And he plays Sunshine, which is the song that Joe Dolce told him to go back and work on. That guy. So he nails it, okay, in a couple of takes, just with him and an acoustic guitar. They like it. They come back the next day. The engineer feels so bad. He plays drums on it. Jonathan plays bass and sings a backup vocal, and that's it. That is the song, if you know about this song, was the hit. It went to number 4. It sold 1 million copies. It became a big protest anthem. He got invited to play for hundreds of thousands of people at Vietnam War protests and stuff because it's just a great song that has like a inner meaning about protest in your life and people trying to take to control you and stuff. It's just perfect 70s anthem kind of song, right? So I say that it went to number 4 was a big hit, but the problem was when Atco first released it, it went nowhere. It died. So 6 months in, they were done with him. He had already moved to a farm and was raising hogs. He's like, well, I'm just going to go. He didn't care. He would play for 10 people. He'd play for 100 people. He didn't care, But when this DJ started playing this song because of all the problems with the war, it suddenly became in demand. And Capricorn Records licensed this album and the song from Atco, and then they put it out. This is actually a Capricorn recording here. And when they released it, that's what made it a big hit. So he's literally slogging hog shit when the record company gets a hold of him and goes, hey man, you got a hit song on your hands. You got to go start touring. So he had to go put a band back together and play all these shows, and that's what he did, right? So big hit. Every song they released off the record after that didn't get out of the top 100 because it's just, happy accident. Wasn't even supposed to be on the record. It's the one thing that made it. So Atco and his manager had screwed him over. He signed a 14 album, 7-year deal, which means he has to come up with 2 new records every year for the next 7 years. A, that's insane. B, that's impossible. And C, he wasn't going to do it. So the second album he came out with was called Honky Tonk Stardust Cowboy. It's just him and acoustic guitar, basically. And the record company didn't know what to do with it. They do it, okay? So by this time, he doesn't care. He moves to Nova Scotia on an organic farm. He had some health problems anyway. He just moved to an organic farm. And he's living up there and doing his thing. And the record company comes after him. They're like, man, hey, look, you owe us a bunch more albums. He's like, look, if you're going to promote him like that last one, I'm not going to help you. I'm going to do a live show here in a couple weeks. You want to record that? There's a record for you. Do that. And they recorded a live album. And that was pretty much it. He was done. They dropped him. Okay. So he's basically up in Nova Scotia on an organic farm up until 1975 when he gets a call from his friend Emmylou Harris. And she was working on what became one of her seminal records called Elite Hotel. And she asked him to come down and sing on it, which he did. And they were so impressed. Her boyfriend at the time, who became her husband, basically helped him get out of the rest of that deal, got some of his royalties and stuff back for Sunshine, and got him a new deal with Warner Brothers. And he cut a couple of albums with Warner Brothers. They didn't go, they didn't do too bad, but they didn't do too good, But just basically got him out into it. And then after that, he went back and he moved back to Virginia and got a farm there. And he's just living on a farm, doing his thing, right? And that's kind of really where he was at. In the 80s, he cuts a children's record called Little Hands that wins some awards. And matter of fact, American Children's Society gives it a special honor, some kind of really cool record, And for whatever reason, by the late 80s, he decides to get into acting. He joins the traveling troupe of Pump Boys and Dinettes, the Broadway musical. He's in the road crew. He plays the lead in the road crew. So he went and toured as the lead in Pump Boys and Dinettes for a couple of years. I mean, this guy is like multi-talented. I mean, just, on and on and on, right? But he's just, again, to this day, at that point, he never quit playing. He'll play for 20 people. He'll play for 2,000 people. He'll play for 20,000 people because he's open for B.B. King and the Allman Brothers and stuff. So he's played in front of big crowds. And of course, all this protest stuff. Matter of fact, you want to book him right now on his website. He'll play your barbecue if you want to pay him, or he'll play, whatever. He's still got a decent, loyal following because he's just a real musician who really loved music, didn't give a shit about the fame, didn't give a shit about the business or the money. He just wanted to write songs and just have, entertain people and have them hear them. So that's just really cool. I left out another thing too. In the early 2000s, you guys remember a PBS show? It was called Cruising America's Waterways. I remember watching a couple of those shows. Well, Jonathan Edwards, he's the narrator. He's the host of it. So basically it's like a travel show where he talks about all these beautiful, majestic scenery here in the United States, which is perfect for a hippie who just loves nature and loves playing and being a guitar. So God bless him. Seems like he's really got it made. If he got his publishing back from Sunshine and he didn't fall off the drug wagon, he's probably doing great. And from his website, so it looks like he is, man. So that's awesome. In 2011, he did a cool thing. Okay, he formed a band with Henry Gross, and I'm going to probably feature Henry Gross later on. He's the guy who did Shannon, and Shannon's a song about a dog. So of course I'm going to feature. I actually featured Henry Gross years ago as an aside on a video, but those got destroyed. Okay, and my buddy Henry Paul, my friend Henry Paul, who was in the Outlaws and in the country group Blackhawk, they formed a band called the Vereenes, which was named after entertainer Ben Vereen. If you don't know who Ben Vereen's David Foster's greatest hit. my God, I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. Google that. Google David Foster and Ben Vereen, and you'll see why I'm going to hell. Anyway, with that, all being said, that is the great Jonathan Edwards. Let me go ahead. We're going to go to the next segment. We'll talk about the features and functions of this, and we'll go ahead and play a little bit of Sunshine. It's only 2 minutes long, and it's just a classic, cool song. I'm sure you remember when you hear it. Thanks for checking it out, everybody. So I have a dog on my foot. He came in during the break, and he fell asleep at my foot, and I'm not going to wake him up because I love him, and I just want him near me. He's just the best dog ever. So again, I say this every time. If you can get a rescue dog, do it. It's way better than a turntable. As cool as turntable and music and stuff is, rescue dog will change your life. If you can do it, do it. And send me your pictures. I have people send me pictures. I'm trying to get my board laid as much as I can here. But anyway, let me show you how this thing works without waking my dog up, hopefully. This is the PL-505. It is a direct drive, fully automatic turntable. I said, in the early segment, I replaced the belt. There is a belt for the motor that moves the motor in and out. It's a little tiny belt that goes on a separate motor there. This turntable, just like the 707, is full direct drive. And the main difference between a 505 and a 707 is 707 has VTA adjustment. You can lift your arm up and down. This is fixed. Everything else is identical. Motors, switches, circuits, all that stuff. They're the same turntable. Okay. So when you want to play a record on this thing, you got a power button right here. This turns it on. It defaults to 33. You can switch that to 33 or 45. And like I said, I replaced all these switches in here. It also defaults to a 30 centimeter, which is a 12-inch record, right? You also have a spot here for 25 centimeters, which is a 10-inch record. And yes, here's my Aerosmith joke. Unless you got an Aerosmith big 10-inch record, you don't need to worry about that. And then, of course, here, your 17-inch for a 7-inch 45 single, right? Over here is your repeat function. What this does is it'll play the record over and over again. It actually comes back, lowers, and sets back up again, comes back, right? This here is your lifter, arm elevation. That's supposed to act like a record that's down on the surface. When you lift it up, you'll see the arm lift up, just like that. Then back down is back down. This is your start or stop, depending on what it's doing. If it's running, it'll stop it. If it's not running, it'll start it. Again, this is a VM95E, brand new. Boxes right there. Audio-Technica, elliptical stylus, great cartridge for the money, upgradable a whole bit. That screw right there pulls that head shell off of it. There's a lock there for the arm. That black knob there is your anti-skating. Then in the back here is your ballast style counterweight. Now these dials on these things are notoriously wrong. You need to have a digital stylus gauge to set this thing up. They're $15 on Amazon, or if you got one, just you track it 2 grams with the Audio-Technica. But any cartridge you put on it, don't go by that dial, because if you zero it out and set it, it's going to be off by like 20%. It's crazy. Oh, he moved. Here he goes. So anyway, down here, a little pad there pulls off, and you put a screwdriver down there, and that picks the spot where the record drops at, right? And that's really it. When you want to play a record on this thing, we're going to play Sunshine for you here, a little bit of it. Hit your start button. It spools up, goes over, drops into place, and we get to hear Jonathan Edwards.
Sunshine, go away today. I don't feel much like dancing. Some man's gone, he's tried to run my life. He don't know what he's asking. When he tells me I better get in line, I can't hear what he's saying. When I grow up, I'm gonna make it mine. These ain't dues I've been paying. How much does it cost? I'll buy it. The time is all we've lost. I'll try it. And he can't even run his own life. I'll be damned if you run mine. Sunshine, sunshine.
And that is the great Jonathan Edwards and this song Sunshine. I mean, what a piece of ear candy. It's really good. A little bit better than Shut Up in Your Face. I'm sorry, I'd say. Let me go ahead and put that shitty dust cover on here and reiterate again what a great turntable deal this is. Like I said, it probably won't get to you in time for Christmas, especially with the storms coming. But man, if you're looking for a present, these are just amazingly cool, affordable turntables. Let's check it out. You okay, Pookie Dog? Yeah, that's my boy right there. Anyway, with the crappy dust cover on here, it'll protect the turntable. And like I said, it's got a crack in it, so you maybe not want to fix it. But to get it to you and stuff, and like I say, my guy Efren will hook you up with a brand new one. I'll put you in contact with him. Only if you buy a turntable from me. Don't start. Anyway, here is the recapped, restored Pioneer PL-505. Like I said, guys, it's recapped and restored. Brand new Audio-Technica cartridge. You know the drill. It's in fantastic shape. Got that one little nick there in the corner. I saw a little thing here when I was talking. That's this piece of dust. That's it. The rest of this thing, it shines amazingly good. And it sounds great. I mean, if you heard Sunshine through a phone, that's the best I've heard Sunshine. I mean, you see it's on compilations and stuff all the time, but it don't sound like this. It's amazing. That vinyl is actually really freaking cool. So anyway, guys, $450 plus the shipping. I only take Zelle. I only take PayPal, friends and family. I can take a check, but you have to wait for it to clear. And like I said, I don't think, even if you Zelled me tonight for it, that I'm going to ship it out in time for Christmas because there's storms and stuff coming. So if you need me to make a specialized video for if it's a gift for somebody, I'll do like a personalized thing going, hey, Bob, Scott, Mark, your great friend so-and-so got you this turntable, I'll gladly do that stuff. I mean, it's Christmas and I'm really trying to help people, gift the music, man. Cause that's like I say, I mean, as crazy as the freaking world is, how poignant is Sunshine right now? I mean, good God. But anyway, I so appreciate you guys. I'm going to try to get another turn. Like I say, since the stuff's not going out of time for Christmas, I may be winding it down. We'll see here. I got a bunch of cool records I want to talk about. I have a ton of great turntables coming that did not arrive in time for Christmas. How about a 59L in the box? How about a 9010 that's stupidly mint? How about another Y55 JVC? How about a couple more Pioneers? Oh my God, if somebody doesn't buy that PL30 Pioneer on there, I'm going to relist it. That is the best deal on a turntable that there is, and for some reason, people are missing it. Go check out the PL30L Series 2 on there that I've got listed. It is, like I said, it is a great deal. It's a great turntable, great shape. Again, I don't know. Go figure. With all that said, man, thank you guys so much again. I hope you're having a great holiday season. I hope you got someone to share it with. Stay safe, stay warm, stay sane. Get yourself a rescue dog. And happy holidays, everybody. Thanks again.